Hey, Oatmeal, you didn't make more videos. Man, how am I supposed to make more videos when YouTube took all my videos? It just like ran off with over 10,000 videos. How am I supposed to make videos? Oh, I don't know, man. How about you talk about why you went to Vietnam? Why I went to Vietnam? What got you into Vietnam? How did that all start? Like, yeah, like how did you, like, what's it like, talk about that, going into Vietnam.
Well, to be really brief about this story in my life of how I came to Vietnam, the one thing I didn't really talk about before was how I was somewhat manipulated by Joy Sanses. And I'm not here to throw her under the bus, but I thought it was interesting. Like what happened, basically, like what happened, it's interesting and kind of makes me uncomfortable. Like this headphone. Oh man. It's kind of tough to summarize. I kind of leave this part out of the story every time I tell the story. She would tell me that she really want to. She really wanted to go back home. I probably told this story before, but it's like it bears repeating that she really wanted to go back home to the Philippines, be with her two daughters, and that was very, very important. I knew her. I knew her on Skype. Met her on like a random website, some kind of social media website where you like a video chatting website, something like that, some kind of instant messaging thing, and then started talking to her on Skype, and she started encouraging me to go to Vietnam. Still hesitating when I tell this story. I don't know why, but it's like um, she started talking to me. I don't know when exactly. It might have been in 2011 or early in 2012, but I ended up going to Vietnam. But ended up going around Thanksgiving in 2012. I went to Vietnam, but for like a year or two, I was thinking about it, and I would talk to her, and she would talk about how she really needed help, and they really needed another teacher, and they did basically. And so I ended up going, but in retrospect, I could see the problem. I could see other problems that that ended up happening was that I mean basically like school didn't want me, and um, I guess that I wasn't really totally ready. But I mean, it's like basically there can be blame placed on both sides. I always talk about them. I don't talk about myself and talk about how I wasn't really prepared to really teach English. I'm probably a little bit better now, 10 years later, but I wasn't really then. But I would make a big deal about them and how I felt like they broke their promise because they were like, yeah, we will hire you and we'll pay you like $1,000 for the first month and for every month, and so then I was going around the internet telling everybody. I was trying to tell everybody my story. Okay, so that was very important. But on one hand, it's like I wasn't ready to really teach English, even though I thought I could. I wasn't totally prepared, even though it's something that is possible, and it just is. It takes time. It takes a little bit of work. It probably takes some experience, but um, the other thing on top of that that happened or didn't happen was that um, I didn't stop. Like, basically, I was communicating with the school in Vietnam. I was in Oregon, so I was emailing them, and I was saying to them, I want a contract. I want to make sure that this is written on paper, that you're going to hire me. And I contacted them a few times, going back to October of 2012, and I would try to tell them that. I would try to email them again and again, and it was important. It was pretty important to me. But I ended up dropping it at the basically at the end of November. I ended up just hopping on a plane, and I was already in the process of getting my passport, and then getting a visa, and then getting a plane ticket to go to Vietnam. And I was gonna like hesitate. I was gonna stop or postpone and wait for a confirmation, wait for a contract, wait for something. But I ended up going right away without waiting because of Joy pressuring me. And I'm not saying that it's her fault. And I'm not like trying to throw her under the bus. I'm like trying to say, like, basically that's what happened. But you know, I can talk about that. I can talk about how people did me wrong, kind of thing. Like, I've talked about that a lot in my life. I've made a big deal about it, really big deal about it. Many times I make a really big deal about me being wronged by people. And the biggest thing right now, which is a lot bigger than other things, would be YouTube deleting over 10,000 videos of mine. That's really big compared to a lot of other things that I've yelled about. And this would be one of those things where I was talking about that school in Bac Ninh. That's a city in the north of Vietnam near Hanoi, the capital. And I went to Vietnam to work at that school, New Star, and they ended up not hiring me. Basically, like, firing me or not hiring me. I was there and I was helping out a little bit for the first 4 or 5 days, and then they're like, get out of here, you're not really good. And I made a big deal about that. And I can talk about the things that I did wrong. And I was working on an article about that, about me getting things wrong. And it kind of goes with the other article that I wrote called Sorry. And I can talk all day about me and the stuff that I got wrong, the things that I did bad, and then about the other people and what they did. And I do that. And I made an emphasis on what they did and less so what I did. Now I try to talk more about what I did in my life in general, not just Vietnam, but my entire life. Different things, different places, different people. I try to talk about that a little bit, but I also want to make a big point in this video, and the main purpose of this video is to say, like, regardless of all that, it was good that I went to Vietnam, because if I didn't, then a lot of other things wouldn't happen, as far as I know. I mean, there was a lot of things that wouldn't happen, period. I mean, basically, it's like, even though it was like a mistake, even though it was like crazy that I didn't get a contract with a school, even though like I had the wrong type of visa, because some people were like, it's okay if you go to Vietnam with just a regular tourist visa instead of a working visa. And I would ask a lot of people questions, but I ended up doing that, and I decided, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And then that basically caused another problem of something else that happened later on. In 2015, travel agency gives me the wrong type of visa, even though it was like it would have been good, but it wasn't what I wanted. I think basically they gave me a business visa, but I wasn't actually eligible for it, and I imagine that probably cost me more money. This was 3 years later. I was already in Vietnam for 3 years, or almost 3 years. I went to Vietnam in 2012, and in 2015, I was basically, I think I was buying a new visa, and then I was going to get it extended every 3 months, and that's what I normally do. But I was not able to extend it the third time, or the second time. I extended it. I made that visa in March of 2015, and then it goes on for it lasts for 3 months, and then I extended it for 3 months. So that would be, what would that be? April, May, June, and then July, August, September. So it's like around September I extended it again, and then October, November, and then December. December it expires, and then I'm gonna go, and I went to try to extend it for a third time, which is normal because I did it before with my other visas. This was the I think it was my third visa that I made in Vietnam. I made a visa in 2013, and then maybe it was my second visa. I made a visa in 2013 when I went to Cambodia, and then I made another visa in 2015. And I expected it to extend for 3 times, because that's what I did before. I mean, before I extended the visa like 5 times, I think. And I don't know. I just know that they said it was okay. The travel agency said it was okay, so I did it. Some people were like, "Don't do it." Some people were like, "It's okay." And so in December of 2015, I was unable to extend that visa, my second visa, in Vietnam. And then I was unable to really do anything until I found somebody who could make me a visa, a new visa, a third visa, in November of 2017, and that was 2 years later. And it was pretty terrifying in some ways, mostly because I didn't know what was happening. But all that stuff happened, and in the end I was able to make a visa, and then I decided to leave and I went back to America that same month in November of 2017, and all this stuff happened, and if I didn't go to Vietnam in the first place, none of it would happen. The good and the bad, none of it would happen in the first place. Basically, as far as I know, it wouldn't happen if I didn't go to Vietnam in the first place. That's kind of how I feel about it. And so it's like, even though it was like kind of stupid on me, kind of a big mistake on me, and bad on me, same on me kind of thing for not getting a contract, for not getting a work visa, for not getting some kind of teaching English certificate, some kind of certificate, whether it be TOEFL, TEFL, or Tesla, not Tesla, but TEFL. So what the names of the different teaching certificates, but there was pressure that girl put on me. She was a few years older than me. She was teaching English at the school, and me talking about it could be bad, but I'm trying not to make it a bad thing. But it is what it is. Whether it's bad or not, I kind of wanted to talk about it, even though it's like sounds like a bad thing, and it sort of is, but it is what it is. And she was putting pressure on me, and maybe that was bad for her to do that to me. But at the same time, it wasn't necessarily her doing that, especially if you were to ask her side of the story. She would say, no, I was not forcing Joey to go to Vietnam. And she wasn't. So what I'm saying is not 100% like me trying to say, like, she put a gun to my head. She didn't really, like, do that, you know? But, I was, basically I felt like I was pressured. But, at the same time, I don't know, like, I really wanted to do something, and I wanted to get out of the situation of where it was. And because of what happened with my dad's oh my god, wow, let me start over. Okay, my dad's girlfriend. Okay, so she got mad at me, and she calls the cops. I try to stop her. Cops come, they put me in jail because I tried to stop her from calling 911, and then I was gonna be in prison for a year, but then they got me out, and Brent Goth, whatever his name is, from the Comcast Wanted Adventure host, he got me out, but then he had to put me back in, and I served my time, and I was in jail, I was in prison in 2012 for this thing, this thing. What did I do? I stopped a 911 call, and I didn't want to continue to be there, even though, like, in some ways it wasn't a big deal, but in other ways, like, it at the time it felt like it was a liability, because they put me on probation, and they were like, if you get in trouble again, we're gonna throw you back in, and it's gonna be bad. So what did I do? Well, I was thrown in jail. That was in July of 2012, and then I hopped in an airplane a few months later in November. I got out of jail after 2 weeks. I was in jail for 2 weeks, and so it was the end of July. So basically almost the beginning of August. So you think September, October, and then November, and then almost beginning of December. So this like 4 months. 4 months later, I'm out of there, and I leave. And that's part of the reason why I was so in a hurry. I wanted to get out of that, but also I wanted to get out of the situation that I was in with Brent Goth. So I always get his name messed up, his last name. And we were working on a website, Mea Omnia, and I wanted to get out of that. I don't really know if I said all these things in other videos. I should really write this stuff down and just read it off. Right now, I feel like my voice is not working. I feel like I'm becoming like Alex. My voice is all roughing out, and I feel like I can't really pronounce my words right now. I feel like every time I move my mouth, it's like it's not working. So I can't really make a video, but it's like in life, it's kind of like that. Sometimes in life, you feel like you can't do it. You can't do something. Sometimes you just gotta go and do it, and even though you messed up, at least you got something started, and that's kind of what my thinking was in regards to going to Vietnam, or in regards to like throwing over 10,000 videos onto the internet, and now most of them are gone. Thank God. I mean, not thank God. That's what some people would say, but it's like putting all those thousands of articles and everything else, pictures and memes and GIFs and comments and everything that I thrown on the internet. It's like I started something, and even though it's not perfect, and even though it's disastrous, it's like that's how you get the ball rolling, one step at a time. And you fall down, you get back up again. It's like it's a big mess, and it's kind of like Seinfeld. It's kind of good. So this video is terrible. It is. Because I was stumbling over my words, and that's life. Some people would be like, don't upload it to the internet. But it doesn't really matter if I upload it or not, because Susie, YouTube, will probably delete this channel and delete all my videos off this channel too. They already suspended a bunch of other channels of mine, so you can watch this video and then forget about it, or don't watch this video, because tomorrow it will probably be gone. I will be deleted off the internet, like Ian Oatbox says on Discord with I'm not on. You can never find me on there. Click on the link in the description below to join Discord to talk to a bunch of people who hate me and love me. Hate me. Link in the description to the super duper great, horrible, lovely, awesome, stupid Discord server where people lie about me, talk about me, and say stuff about me. So if you love me or hate me, go check it out. And remember, you better not download this video so that you can never ever watch it or any of my other videos, because they're totally gone. Ha 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 ha.